Two people wake up every morning in America with completely different financial realities. One checks their bank account before even getting out of bed because they are terrified an unexpected charge might have pushed them too close to zero. The other barely thinks about money during the day at all. Same country, same inflation, same economy, completely different levels of financial stress. And what's strange is that both people might technically be middle class. One earns $65,000 a year and feels trapped constantly. The other earns $65,000 and quietly builds wealth every single month. This is the part nobody wants to admit. Financial freedom today is becoming less about income and more about behavior. Because right now, millions of Americans are trapped inside lifestyles they secretly cannot afford to maintain. And the worst part is many do not even realize it yet. Today, I want to show you why so many Americans feel financially trapped, why even decent incomes no longer feel safe, and the invisible habits quietly separating financially resilient people from financially exhausted people. The first reason Americans feel trapped is that modern life became unbelievably expensive in ways previous generations never experienced. And I'm not just talking about inflation. I'm talking about the entire structure of modern living. Housing costs exploded. Cars became dramatically more expensive. Healthcare feels terrifying. Groceries feel unstable. Insurance keeps increasing. Childcare costs more than many mortgages. Even basic middle-class life now requires enormous monthly income just to stay afloat. 30 years ago, many households could survive comfortably on one income with a modest home and manageable expenses. Today, even dual-income households often feel stressed constantly. But something even more dangerous happened at the same time. Expectations exploded alongside costs. Modern middle-class life no longer means basic stability. It now includes expensive phones, subscriptions, luxury vacations, endless convenience spending, upgraded kitchens, premium services, streaming platforms, social media-worthy homes, and constant lifestyle upgrades. Americans are not just paying more for survival. They are paying more for identity. This is where the trap begins. Because every lifestyle upgrade quietly becomes a permanent monthly obligation. Bigger apartment, higher car payment, more subscriptions, more delivery apps, more recurring costs. Most people think purchases are temporary. But the reality is that many purchases create financial ecosystems around them that continue draining money for years. A luxury SUV is not just a car payment. It is higher insurance, higher maintenance, higher registration costs, more expensive repairs, and psychological pressure to maintain a matching lifestyle. A bigger home is not just a mortgage. It becomes furniture costs, maintenance costs, utility costs, decoration costs, and emotional pressure to keep up with surrounding lifestyles. The middle class slowly became trapped by fixed expenses. And fixed expenses are dangerous because they remove flexibility. When monthly obligations become too large, every financial problem suddenly feels catastrophic. Losing a job becomes terrifying. Medical emergencies become devastating. Economic downturns create panic. People begin organizing their entire lives around protecting monthly payments instead of building long-term freedom. This is why so many Americans secretly feel exhausted all the time. Their lives became financially heavy. Too many obligations. Too many recurring expenses. Too many things demanding money every month. The second reason Americans feel trapped is social comparison. Social media completely changed financial psychology. Previous generations mostly compared themselves to neighbors or coworkers. Modern Americans compare themselves to millions of carefully edited lifestyles online every day. People see luxury apartments, expensive dinners, designer clothes, cosmetic procedures, luxury gyms, vacations in Europe, remodeled homes, and endless consumption constantly displayed as normal life. Over time, this changes people psychologically, even if they do not notice it happening. A modest life that once felt comfortable now feels inadequate. A normal car feels embarrassing. A basic apartment feels like failure. And because comparison is emotional, people often respond emotionally through spending. They upgrade things not because they truly need them, but because they subconsciously want relief from feeling behind. This is one of the most financially destructive forces in modern society. People are no longer simply consuming products. They are consuming identity. They buy versions of themselves they hope other people will admire. And the economy encourages this behavior constantly because emotional spending is incredibly profitable. Companies know people spend emotionally when stressed, insecure, lonely, or exhausted. That is why modern advertising rarely focuses on products themselves anymore. It focuses on status, identity, comfort, and emotional transformation. The third reason Americans feel trapped is lifestyle inflation. This is probably the single biggest financial mistake quietly destroying middle-class wealth. Lifestyle inflation happens when income rises and spending rises immediately alongside it. Promotions become bigger apartments. Raises become luxury cars. Bonuses become expensive vacations. Almost no new income actually becomes lasting wealth. This is why so many high earners still feel broke. Their incomes increased, but their lifestyles expanded even faster. A person earning $180,000 while spending $170,000 is financially weaker than someone earning $75,000 while spending $45,000. Margin matters more than income. But most Americans never build margin because every income increase gets absorbed instantly. The dangerous part is that lifestyle inflation usually feels normal. Nobody wakes up thinking they are becoming financially reckless. Each individual upgrade feels justified. Better house, better neighborhood, better car, better experiences for the kids, better vacations after working hard all year. But over decades, these upgrades quietly create fragile financial lives. This is why financially stable people often look less wealthy than stressed high earners. Real wealth is usually invisible. It exists in investments, emergency funds, low obligations, and flexibility. Fake wealth is visible everywhere because it depends on appearances. The fourth reason Americans feel financially trapped is recurring expenses. Modern society quietly shifted from ownership to subscription. Nearly everything now demands continuous payments. Streaming services, food delivery memberships, software subscriptions, cloud storage, gym memberships, financing plans, buy now, pay later payments, monthly premium services. Individually, these expenses feel harmless. Together, they become financial suffocation. A few $100s disappearing every month into invisible recurring charges destroys enormous long-term wealth potential. But because the spending happens automatically, people emotionally normalize it. Most financial destruction does not happen dramatically. It happens quietly through small repeated decisions that feel insignificant individually. The fifth reason Americans feel trapped is emotional exhaustion. Financial stress changes human behavior. When people feel overwhelmed, exhausted, anxious, or burned out, long-term decision-making becomes harder. Cooking feels exhausting, so delivery becomes easier. Budgeting feels stressful, so spending becomes emotional escape. Investing feels abstract, while consumption provides immediate emotional relief. This creates a brutal cycle. Financial stress creates emotional exhaustion. Emotional exhaustion creates worse spending habits. Worse spending habits create more financial stress. Millions of Americans are trapped inside this loop permanently, and the modern economy profits from this exhaustion constantly. Convenience is sold aggressively because exhausted people pay premium prices to remove friction from daily life. But over time, convenience spending slowly destroys financial resilience. The sixth reason Americans feel trapped is delayed investing. Many people assume wealth building can happen later. They tell themselves they will start investing once life becomes less expensive, less stressful, or more stable. But life rarely becomes easier automatically. Expenses simply evolve into new forms. Meanwhile, the Americans quietly building wealth usually do something different. They automate investing early and protect it aggressively, even during difficult years. They understand something most people never fully grasp. Financial freedom is not built through occasional intensity. It is built through consistency. A household investing modest amounts consistently for 20 years often becomes financially stronger than households earning far more but constantly interrupting their investing habits. This is why discipline matters more than income over long periods of time. Most Americans focus on earning more money. Financially resilient people focus on controlling lifestyle expansion. Now let me explain the biggest misconception about financial freedom. Most people think financial freedom means luxury. Bigger houses, exotic vacations, expensive lifestyles. But real financial freedom is usually much quieter than that. It means sleeping peacefully. It means not panicking over emergencies. It means not fearing job loss constantly. It means having flexibility, margin, breathing room. And ironically, many people chasing visible wealth accidentally destroy the exact peace they were originally trying to create. The Americans quietly escaping financial stress usually share a few common behaviors. They keep housing costs reasonable. They avoid constant upgrades. They drive cars longer. They invest automatically every month. They ignore social pressure better than average people. And most importantly, they define enough early. This is one of the most powerful financial advantages anyone can develop. Knowing when you already have enough protects you from endless consumer pressure. Because modern consumer culture has no finish line. There is always a bigger house, newer car, better vacation, more expensive neighborhood, and upgraded lifestyle waiting ahead. If people never intentionally define enough, financial pressure expands forever regardless of income. The uncomfortable truth is that many Americans are not trapped because they earn too little. They are trapped because their lifestyles became too expensive to sustain comfortably. And once people build high-obligation lifestyles, freedom disappears quietly. But the opposite is also true. Financial resilience can be built slowly through smaller intentional decisions repeated consistently over time. Lower obligations, higher investing rates, fewer recurring expenses, less emotional spending, more financial margin. The people who achieve long-term financial peace usually are not the flashiest consumers in society. In fact, many look surprisingly ordinary from the outside. Because they stopped optimizing life around appearances and started optimizing around freedom instead. So before your next upgrade, ask yourself one question. Is this purchase making my life lighter or heavier? Because one path quietly builds freedom. The other quietly builds financial pressure. And most Americans do not realize which direction they are heading until years later. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to Austin Invests for more videos on financial psychology, wealth building, and the hidden behaviors shaping modern life. And if you want to understand why high earners still feel broke, watch the next video on screen now.